What I'm trying to tell all Republicans and anybody, independents as well, anybody that's voting in those primaries is, if you want a change in our country, which I think the entire country wants a change, we won't get a change if we don't win an election. Donald Trump will not win the general election. You can have him win any primary you want. He will not win a general election. We will have a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. But if Donald Trump is the nominee, you can mark my words, he will not win a general election. And what I say to everybody is, don't complain about what happens in a general election if you don't really think about that in this primary.
What's going on, everyone? Saucekin here today. I want to give an analysis of what Nikki Haley was saying in the beginning of the intro. As you see from the intro, she made the bold claim, I think it's a bold claim, that Donald Trump can't win the general election when he's up in the polls. Now, I know poll data ain't everything. It's still within the margin of error. But based on all available data, you would think that, that's a bold prediction to make. Like, Donald Trump can't win the general election. And she said a female will be president. Either it's going to be her or Kamala Harris. And I was thinking that I'm still a Vivek supporter, right? And I believe Vivek was the best alternative to Trump. Now, the American people, at least Republicans, voters, conservative voters, didn't want Vivek. They wanted Trump. So Vivek's like, okay, I'm done. I concede and I'm moving aside so we can just get behind Trump, because that's what the conservative base wants, right? Win or lose, hey, look, I guess people are going down with the ship. Like, and imagine how much of an option that people, like, because in the day, I believe politics is about trust in a way. And imagine how much that you pretend you show all this data. Oh, look, I have the best chance of winning the general election. Look at me. Because Democrats are willing to fluff you up. But if it's between you and a Democrat, the Democrats will pick a Democrat, not Nikki Haley. If it's you, Nikki Haley, versus Donald Trump, the Democrats will pick Nikki Haley over Donald Trump. And that's the reality. And I think that's what's really fudging her numbers, right? But this bold claim by hers made me remember another instance of a bold claim. I remember a long time ago, like 8 years ago. I was like, 19 years old when Donald Trump won the 2016 election. It reminded me of Barack Obama when he had his little mic drop moment. At least I'll go down as president. Let's take a look at that clip, because I laugh, because this giving me the same kind of vibe. Let's take a look.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
What? He looks dead at the camera. What? I know. Obama was seething 2016 when Donald Trump won. I know he was pissed. What? That's going to live on the internet forever. Oh my God. Bruh. Kids in the past are going to have fun with this one. I mean, kids in the future are going to have fun with this one. Oh, President, the 44th President Barack Obama made bold claim that the 45th President Donald Trump wouldn't won, and Donald Trump won. He who laughs last, laughs best, I guess, right? And this always shows me, like, the establishment, I don't know what it is. I believe they have it out for just the conservative movement in general, right? This is right or left, right? This critique is in general like the classical establishment political class of a Democrat and a Republican Party, because there's breaking news. This happened a couple days ago. Mike Pence's group launches a $20 million effort to defeat populism in the conservative movement, even though populism is the very reason that this party has life again. This party has an ability to evolve past what it was in years prior. The Constitution in this great American experiment must not be swayed by movements or personalities, but must be hold firm to time-honored principles that have made America strong and prosperous and free. But what they fail to leave out is that a group of men created this Constitution, right? The Thomas Jeffersons, the George Washingtons, the Benjamin Franklins. There was a group of personalities and movements that allowed even America to exist in the first place. I believe, if you want to go to the Constitution, I believe America's history is a result of populism. Like, imagine this. We were a colony by the British Crown, and the people rose against the establishment, which is the British Empire, and crafted and created their own country. And you're saying the very thing, the very energy populism that helped create America. You're not condemning it as anti-conservative, not what? Like, come on. Well, I forgot who liked to say this talking point. I think it was Vivek. He likes to say that we are a country founded on insurrection, right? And it's true. Like, you went against the establishment. You revolted against the establishment. That's why having guns is a human right here in America, because of the pedigree we come from. This is what British people can't seem to understand when they kind of comment on our politics talking about gun control. Liberals will push this gun control because they don't respect our American history. They demonize their own nationality. They're self-hating, self-loathing people, American liberals, or the American left are more like accurately like to say. It's just they like to bully the liberals, and the liberals just fall in line. It seems anyway. But I digress. I think I went on a little tangent there. I want to give more. I want to look into this video a little bit more and give some of my commentary throughout. Let's continue with the video.
These are the two most disliked politicians in America.
And people still want and people still want them. The polls don't mean nothing. People can talk, like, it's easy. What's easier to do, action or talk? It's easier to talk than to do action. Oh, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna do this. Okay, why aren't you doing it? And American voters, they seem to say, hey, they say one thing on the polls, and polls don't accurately, measure the demographic anyway. It just gives you a hint or a suggestion of where people may trend to go. No one wants to let go of Biden. So I don't know. Maybe she has a better explanation.
Look at what they're saying. 60% of Americans are saying Donald Trump's too old and Joe Biden's too old to be president.
And you still can't.
You look at the military, they cap retirement at 65. You look at pilots, they cap retirement at 65. We've got a lot to fix in this country. We need someone who can work 8 years straight of hard work, day and night, fully disciplined, with no drama, no vendettas, just results for the American people.
And based on her own argument, wouldn't Vivek fit that picture perfectly? He made money on his own, businessman. He was the youngest candidate on the field, right? I'm being honest. If I'm using her same logic, then Vivek should have been the one that won, but Vivek didn't win, and from my view, he's what the populist right want. You're not. We're done with Republican people like you, Mike Pence, and now y'all mad and y'all want to make efforts to undercut the populism that's been successful in the conservative movement. I don't understand this. It's the cut your nose to spite your face. And this is why a lot of people like to label the Republican Party as a do-nothing party sometimes. Because they're too cowardly to stand up for the very principles that their voters demand from them. But I digress.
That's what's at stake here. And I'm going to continue to stay in and tell people this as long as I possibly can.
So the trials have nothing to do with your decision. And I would also note that I believe early on in the primary process, you raised your hand and said you would support the nominee even if he were a convicted felon.
Well, I don't think the American people would support a convicted felon, but I will tell you, I have a lot of issues with Donald Trump. I have said that. I have no bones about speaking that. I have even more issues with Joe Biden. The key is we don't need either one of them. I think the court cases absolutely hurt Donald Trump. Right now, it may be giving him a shot in the arm, but he has said himself he's going to spend more time in a courtroom than the campaign trail. All of March, all of April, all of May.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily like a negative, right? And this is why I say I think Vivek should be the VP, because Vivek has a track record of showing he knows how to march out there. He knows how to advocate. He knows how to craft a vision. He knows how to talk to people that don't necessarily agree with him. And he knows how to hit the campaign trail, like in a very grassroots way. And I think that's one of the reasons I think Vivek should be VP, because he's able to articulate and give a vision that Americans is palpable to more people in the middle. This is my thoughts, right? I mean, I'm more of a center right person anyway, so I'm just speaking from my own personal kind of purview here. And Joe Biden was able to win in 2020 doing the same strategy, so I don't even think necessarily that it'll hurt Trump, because Trump has a loyal base. Trump has an enthusiasm advantage over Biden. No one's on the Democratic side is enthusiastic to vote for Biden. I believe Biden's going to lose some votes because people are not going to vote for him. People are not going to vote at all. And I believe all 77 million voters that voted for Trump are more enthusiastic to vote for him again. I think that enthusiasm gap will help kind of mitigate some of that trade-off or some of that weakness that he has because of all the legal prosecutions that's coming after him. But on another point, I like how the interview highlighted the like is the legal system any reason why you're still in this race? And I like the fact that she said, oh, she doesn't like Biden more than she doesn't like Trump, but she's doing things that's actively hurting Trump and helping Biden. By staying in the race, Trump's resources divided between running two separate campaigns against two separate candidates and two separate people. So effectively, you're helping exacerbate the monetary loss from Donald Trump's campaign funds. But then you sit here and say, no, I'm more against Biden than I am against Trump. But you're doing actions, right? That's what I'm saying. Don't look at their what they're talking. Look at their actions. Their actions are actually hurting Trump more than is actually hurting Biden. In this instance, you stay in the race. And I did a video on it. A lot of these left-wing political pundits are actually happy that you're still in the race. They want you to continue running in the race because they see it the same way that a lot of conservatives see it. You're hurting Trump more than you're helping yourself. That's the truth. I think that's the objective truth. And only time will tell if Trump can actually win or lose the general election. Because people, I already showed you the clips, Obama, Nancy Pelosi, comedians, actors, never thought Trump can win. And that it shows the limit of human understanding. And sometimes I think a lot of people in these elitist, rich circles, they get caught up in their own hype. And they think they can predict the future. They know what people are thinking when they're some of the most out of touch people in our society. But I digress. Let's wrap up the video. And then I want to end off with a post from Charlie Kirk.
All of June, when you have that scenario, the chances of anyone winning that Republican nomination, if he is the person, are slim. They are just going to keep going down. $500 million in judgments he's got so far. He's now got to figure out where that money's going to come from. $50 million of campaign contributions from his own campaign have gone towards personal court cases. Now they're trying to get the RNC on board and trying to get me out so that they can continue to help him pay for judgments in court cases. We can't win an election that way. It is literally impossible that we will win an election if Donald Trump is the nominee. So I'm going to keep pushing through. We have a country to save, and I'm going to continue to show people that if I can beat Joe Biden by 18 points, guess what? That's a mandate to stop the wasteful spending, get our country back on track. That's a mandate to get our kids reading again. That's a mandate to secure our borders. That's a mandate for law and order in our cities. And that's a mandate for a strong America that we can all be proud of.
So you saw her finishing point, but my only thing is that you saying all the right things, but you are the pedigree of the politicians that we don't like. Yeah, Trump had his faults. Yeah, Trump didn't do everything he said, but Trump can have the argument that people like Nikki Haley undercutted him. Was struggle session the same way like when right now with the border deal, how Trump's like, hey, this is a bad deal. I don't think this is actually solving anything, and you can't give the political win to the Democrats because this is not actually solving anything at the border. All you're doing is capitulating to them. You're going to increase more processing, which is going to create an incentive for more people to want to cross over the U.S. border. And he's right. And then they finally came around, but then they use it as a pretext to drop the entire border provision and just say, hey, let's just pass foreign aid. Craziness. Right. And then it's almost like Trump is being used as a scapegoat by the Republican establishment. Like, oh, when they lose, Trump's fault. When they win, oh, it wasn't because of Trump. Right. They did that with DeSantis. Now, I understand DeSantis is like his own person. He can do that. But I think it's overly exaggerated that, oh, Trump is a net negative on the Republican Party, when I believe this is the only reason that Republican Party is attracting people like Vivek, people like me, who have some who I don't want to say I'm radical, but who has some energy, who has some passion for some of the stuff, is that we see a glimmer of hope. We see, hey, this is an opportunity to actually push a style of politics where you're actually solution driven, not, oh, I'm just going to run on an issue and just run on an issue. Trump solved some problems. Hey, NATO, NATO, y'all need to pay up. You can't be taking advantage of us. We're out here overstretching ourselves, putting our people in more and more national debt, and we're the least one likely to get invaded by Russia. But we're paying the most. How? Make it make sense, right? We need solutions-driven politics. Now, I want to end off the video with this post from Charlie Kirk, kind of exposing that Nikki Haley's campaign is a total hoax at this point. The Nikki Haley campaign is a total scam at this point. Her job is not to win, but to sabotage. She wants to muddy voter data to make it more expensive to chase ballots, create a party divide so that her votes don't come home in November, prolong the inter-political party fighting so Trump can't fully pivot to Biden, force Trump to waste more money on the primaries, which is something she was complaining about. You're spending all these legal fees, and you conveniently left out how you running in the race is causing him to spend even more money, right? She's the first person to say, oh, party over a personality, but you're doing personality over party. Republicans should stop tolerating the Nikki delusion. Democrats will never put up with this. They won't. But, like I said, like there's trade-offs to individualism. Republican Party is a party of individualism. So we have a bunch of fractions within the Republican Party, and that's why we have a lot of infighting. Right? That's why you got Steven Crowder fighting with Ben Shapiro, because there's different fractions within the conservative movement, within the Republican Party. While Democrats, they have the same thing, but the whole point is they're all authoritarian, and they're all tribal in the sense that they'll do what's necessary to get their ends goal. Hey, we'll come together because we want at least all the power on our side, and then we can fight amongst ourselves to decide where the country goes. Conservatives and Republicans don't really have that same kind of strategy or temperament, right? But hey, I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What's your thoughts about Nikki Haley's bold prediction that Donald Trump can't win a general election? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic. I feel like it's going to be a fun one in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.